I don't use the Focus A variant because I want the pin to last a little bit longer. I know that I do give up Determination, which is it kind of it's really iffy. Sometimes I wish I did run the skill focus for it, but I don't. I like to jump over their head and pinfoot, and then put 3 poison arrows in their back. As you can see there, since he is running the variant A for it, he can jump over my head, pinfoot, throw the trap, and then poison arrow me. And it does quite a bit of damage and then continue to mouse one me or pressure me. I think as a Pathfinder, the easiest way, like when you're in a frontal engagement or if you're dealing with an assassin, trying to just jump over their head and pinfoot is one of the best things, because then you can get a little bit of damage into their back, maybe put that dot on them. And as such, it's also very good to do with the variant, and you can throw trap right into them. One things that I really like about the throw traps, that why I need you to demonstrate, because a lot of people don't know this, is say this target is blocking, you can throw the trap behind them.
1 second, they're on cooldown. Alright.
Oh, okay. He threw it behind me. See, I can't block behind me, so he threw it behind me and I got stun trapped. I think that is very, very strong, and being able to utilize that and kind of make sure you throw your traps in the right position. If they're blocking towards the right, you can throw it on the left of them, and it kind of like really psychs out players, and you'll see some players like spin trying because they don't know, and then you just throw it behind them. So it's very strong to do, and always be aware and try and learn. It takes a bit of practice, but try and learn like the different heights and how far it goes when you jump. It's definitely, trap is really, really key to master on the Pathfinder.
Yep.
And that pretty much sums up the Pathfinder class.
Yeah, I think so. So, why don't we go ahead and use this time to see if anybody has any questions, either in the Twitch chat or here in the Mumble lobby. Any questions at all, we will try to answer them as best as we can.
And it doesn't have to necessarily be about the Warden, Assassin, or Pathfinder. It can be about the other classes, and we can get an answer for you.
Not seeing anything on the Twitch chat right now. Sanctimonial asking, which class is good for getting kills? Well, I think that pretty much boils down to teamwork, because this really is a team-based game. A lot of people do come in and think, or try to find a class that's gonna be able to 1v5 everything, or just do the most amount of damage, but they don't realize that this is a team-based game. So Pyromancers do pretty much, they have the best damage potential right now, but you really have to work that in with a team of maybe a healer or a peeler like a Warden to be the most successful and get the most amount of kills.
All the classes really have their damage potential, and they all get kills really well. I think the Pyro has the most consistent damage in the game. For the amount of damage they do, I think it's the most consistent and highest damage. I also think, I think the Pathfinder ranks in pretty high. I think the Assassin has the highest, the Assassin does have the highest burst damage. It's a little bit harder to set up. The combos seem easy, but a lot of things can happen. You can get peeled off, and you're very squishy. So like I said, it's definitely team organized. You can always, if you're just out to get kills, it's not always the objective. If you're playing, there are other game modes. It's not all about getting kills. I think, really the best way to make an impact is not getting kills, is by playing what your team needs. I see so many times I join into games and there's 2 to 3 assassins, and their team is, losing pretty significantly, and it's because if they just balanced out their team comp a little bit, they'd do a lot better if they had at least one healer or maybe a tank that could run the Warden running different auras. I think the Warden brings them. I think the Warden, the Shaman, really help out your team the most, because they heal your team and they bring those auras and their tanky and the stand ground. I think they help out the team and benefit to the team the most in the game. But as far as damage, the Assassin definitely has the highest burst potential.
Yep.
I think the Pathfinder brings the most CC out of the damaging class, and the Pyromancer, well, the Assassin's right. The Pathfinder
The
and
Assassin
the
brings
Assassin
burst, the Pathfinder brings CC, and then the Pyromancer really brings the most overall damage.
yeah, consistent AoE single target. Like they're that main source of damage in the game. Most consistent for sure. So I hope that sums up your question pretty, to what you were looking for.
I think that should be good. Solus asked if we could get a little bit more into stat building in the level up menu.
Oh, that is a great question. That's something we didn't get to touch on really too much. Okay, stat building in this game.
Would you like me to go into the menu so people can see what it looks like?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and drop out of this game. Thanks, Sanctimonial, and thanks, Zach, for holding up this arena for us and participating. We're going to still be talking about the stat breakdowns, but we're going to leave this arena.
For you guys watching, I'm going to go ahead and point out where the variants are here. You'll notice as you level up, you get these are your variants right here. They can be found on the abilities page, and you can just switch between them at any point in time, and they'll automatically save.
Yep. Also, there's only variant A, but in the upcoming patches, they're releasing more and more focuses.
Yeah, we
so
should
that's
see
always something to look forward to.
The next few variants pretty soon here. But on to the stats, which are located on your stats page, obviously. It breaks down into, for your customization points, 3 simple fields. You've got speed, energy, and armor. And your customization points don't give you the ability to gain flat out more in those, which is what's really good about this game. Keeps it all balanced. It allows you to move points around. So I can take points out of armor and put points into energy, or take out of armor, put into speed. And that's the basics of how it works.
It's all preference. There are a couple spots that I think will give you a beginning edge and help you out. Like an assassin is like the fastest class in the game base, and just by achieving 4.5% speed on the assassin, you can have the same speed as a Pathfinder running 21%. So there are just different little sweet spots to hit. I think it doesn't give you a super edge over anyone because you are removing from something else. It's all preference. I know some assassins run 21% speed, but they've really taken a hit on their energy. They only have 80 energy, and they have really low armor. And they're really fast, and it looks really awesome, but they take a lot of damage. I've seen assassins that up their energy so they can do bigger combos, get more punctures off on the target, use their skill set more consistently without having to worry about running out of mana or mouse wanting as much to gain it back. It's really about preference. You have a lot to work with. You do have your armor points to move around. When you remove one from armor, it's 60 armor. As you can see, each point in armor is worth 60 armor on this page. So you move that and you get to gain either 5 energy or 1.5% speed. You can reduce it, play around with it. Most people, generally, right now, reduce their spiritual as low as it can be. They reduce spiritual first because the only class that can deal spiritual damage right now is the shaman, and it's only with their mouse 1 attack, which is really, really weak. It only does about 35 to 40 damage, so it's something pretty ignorable. So a lot of people reduce spiritual. Now, with the upcoming patch, the assassin is going to do spiritual damage in the Shadow Realm, so people might want to add back to spiritual. Also, when they implement a new class in the future, it will probably deal spiritual damage of some sort. So it's not always going to be good to just get rid of your spiritual armor flat out right now. But generally, you can reduce that first, and then pick and choose what fits your playstyle. What you have the most. You may have a lot of problems with assassins, so you may want to up your physical armor. So it's different things like that. On the shaman class, the shaman Seed of Healing is really expensive. It's 30. If you're forced to use that 3 times, that's 90 mana. And if you're playing with base mana of 100, that is really, you're not going to be able to heal your team besides Mouse 1, which is not that, it's not the most efficient way. So I recommend on a shaman, upping your energy as quickly as you can. So that way you can cast more, you can use more heals. You have a bigger mana pool to work with in case you need to Seed of Healing that much, or Seed of Healing maybe once or twice and then bubble, and it's really expensive to use your spells. So having a big mana pool on Shaman I think is important. I think that on Warden, my personal playstyle, like I said earlier, I have 18% speed. That's my playstyle. Some people up their energy, which I've done before, and I really liked that. I don't play Warden that much. But I like my 18% speed. It's kind of, some people think it's troll, but I have fun with it. Pathfinder, I think upping your speed is pretty, I think it's pretty important to up your speed as a Pathfinder because you have no real disengage. So you're relying on your speed and your wall jumping abilities and how quickly you can get out of there if you get opened up on or if you overextend and get caught. I think it's important to have pretty high speed.
Really quick, I want to touch on, since you brought it up, speed will actually affect your wall jumps. So if you have higher speed, you can make slightly farther wall jumps.
Yeah, it affects your momentum, kind of. It's not going to affect how high you jump, but it will affect the momentum you get going into the wall, which can affect the wall jump. But I think that's the general breakdown of the stats. If you guys need more detailed information, maybe go and post on the forums for exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, we'd be more than happy to help you there on the forums at www.playforgewar.com/forums. I'll go ahead and type that out in chat too.
But yeah, that pretty much sums up this video, guys. Last week's, or the last installment, the first installment, we broke down the Pyromancer and the Shaman. We broke down the game types. We talked about the key essentials like blocking, determination, wall jumping. We really broke that down. The next installment, if you stay tuned for next Friday, we will go over some easy wall jumps to practice, just easy basic ones that are kind of need to know to help you get around the map or escape. We'll break down a couple wall jumping spots. We'll also talk about, and we'll go into arena play and what the class's main goal in arena play is and what you're trying to set up and like different combos you can work as a team to achieve. So that'll be the next installment of it. And hope you guys tune in for that.
Yeah, we appreciate your views and support, and we're here to help you new players get through that rough little hump of starting off in the game. Any other shout-outs we want to give here?
Yeah. Basically, just make sure you check out Forge if you haven't ever before. Like, there's a lot of information out there. There's Forge on Facebook. It's facebook.com/playforgewar. There's Forge on Twitter, which is twitter.com/playforgegame. The Forge site, playforgewar.com, and the Forge forums, playforgewar.com. /forums. Just check out all those things. Recommend it to your friends. If you see a new player, this will be posted on the forums, and videos will go up on the forums, and you can